Welcome again to this particular video. In this session, we're going to look at several things. So we're going to see how you can um, get input from the user and print output to the user. So we had covered in the initial video about two functions. That was the input function for getting the input from the user, and we also had covered the print function for getting the output. So we're going to talk into details how what these functions do and how we can continue using them. So for the input function is basically used to get an input from the user. So to be able to get an input from the user, you have to have some way you store that particular input. That's why you create variables. You saw in the previous video me creating names as a variable. So let's say we wanted to again get maybe a message from the user. So you can call it message, and then we will the format we have is there. You write the variable name, and then you assign the input that the user put into that variable name. So you use the input function here, input, and then in the brackets you have the quotation marks, which is just the instructions that you give the user on what you want them to type in. So let's say we just say enter your message, enter your message. So this particular format basically helps the user to capture, if you want to capture a string from the user, you'll use this particular format. So let me just type it in the shell so that you can see the output. So as we said, we have a message which basically is a variable that will show our input, and then we'll start put the function name input and the instruction in the quotation mark of what we want our user to type in. So we are saying enter your message. So this will help you get input of type string to, to from the user. So if you just press enter, you will have that instruction there, and then you can enter your message here. Okay. So if you wanted to see the output and you just say message, let's say whatever was contained in message is displayed if you just type the name of the variable to see what was contained in the message. So that is for getting input in the form of string. So if you wanted to get numbers that we will use maybe for further calculation, you have to do something more. We'll have to use the eval function. So we'll have, let's say we wanted to get the age, and then we'll create a variable called age, and then we'll assign it. So we'll use the eval function first, and then in brackets we'll put the input function, and then now the instruction of what we want the user to enter. So we'll say enter your age, and then we'll close those brackets, all of them, uh, and then we can just press enter to see what it says, and then we'll just enter our age status. Yeah. So if we wanted to use that particular value 30, maybe to add 10 into the age, we can take age, and then we can add 30, and we can see the answer. So if we had to second the value 30 and added age 30 to it. So that's for getting input. And then if we wanted to display the value to the user, we can just say use the print function. So print, we have the quotation mark and we want to print. So if we want to print string referral, we put the quotation mark in there, and then we say welcome here. So that will print the string referral. And then if you just press enter, we'll see the output of what we just printed. So if you wanted to print more than one thing, we'll just say print. We'll separate the things we want to print with a comma. So let's say we wanted to combine some string here and say, okay, maybe your age is, and then we wanted to combine with the age that we gotten from the user, we put a comma and then we say age there. And then if we just press enter, it just gets your age started. So if you want to print more than one thing in one print statement, then you separate them with a comma. So for instance, we wanted to print, if you print, let's say, if you put this thing into quotation marks and I printed like 3 plus 4, it will treat this as a string, so it's just going to put 3 plus 4. But if you wanted to get the sum of 3 plus 4, I'll put print, and then I will not put the quotation marks, I'll just print 2, 3 plus 4. This should give me 7, so it gives me the sum. So anything you put in quotation marks is regarded as a literal, but if you wanted to print the value, you just don't put the quotation mark. So if I wanted to combine these two, I can say print uh, the value. I can just say 3 plus 4 is, and then I can put a comma here and then put 3 plus 4. So the first one will just print 3 plus 4 as is it. The second one will evaluate it in terms of adding 3 to 4. And then if I put, you can see the answer 3 plus 4 is 7. So that is it for using print function and input function. See you in the next session.